This is where we are in society. That's 8 pieces of chicken and some rice for $15. $15 for this. $15. Does anybody else have the feeling like there's not going to be any restaurants left if this is what's happening? Like, I'll pay $20 for Five Guys because I feel like it's worth it, but $15 for 8 pieces of chicken and a bunch of rice, not worth it. This is ludicrous.
There was a time when going out for a meal was a simple break from the daily grind. You didn't think twice about grabbing a burger or taking the family out on a Friday night. But lately, a strange shift has taken over American life. Sitting down at a casual restaurant has turned into a high-stakes financial decision. Between shrinkflation, bizarre new dining fees, and mid-tier chains charging fine dining prices, everyday people are hitting a wall. The truth is, the casual dining experience is breaking down, and it's exposing a much deeper economic strain facing the American middle class.
So restaurants are now charging dine-in fees. A dine-in fee? And then on top of that, a tip. So dine-in fee, you're charging me to come in. That don't make sense. See, it's getting ridiculous out here.
Okay, here's the deal. We just got back from dinner, and I never give bad reviews, ever. Like, ever. And I'm not even going to name the place that we went to here in Connecticut, because we've been going there for years. Here's the sad thing. The portions were minuscule. I mean, tiny. And we used to go there. I mean, we go there like once every other month and get portions like, you have to take stuff home. They raised the prices, and the portions are smaller. And this is why I do what I do. Because leftovers and working with what you got is the only thing we got right now. We can't afford to go to dinner for what we just paid for. Anyway, I did bring leftovers home. I brought home the chicken. Why? Because it was severely overcooked, and I couldn't eat it. Anyway, I love you. Be wary. Things are changing. They've been changing for a while. Follow me. Let's keep doing these leftover series. Love you.
Why are appetizers the same price as entrees now? Like, genuinely, what is happening? And when did that happen? I saw someone make a video about this the other day, and it clicked for me. Like, appetizers and entrees should not be the same price in any world. Appetizers used to be like a fun little addition, something you'd add just to have on the table. All of your friends and you can buy a couple together and just snack on them. But now you open the menu, and spinach dip is $19. Why is spinach dip just as expensive as a full meal? And don't even get me started on mozzarella sticks. Like, there's no world where 4 mozzarella sticks should enter the entree category in terms of pricing. It doesn't make sense. And for some reason, these restaurants are still calling them shareables. Like, oh, they're little snacks you can share with your friends. Like, it costs more than the meal. We're gonna be financially ruined if we all get appetizers. And on top of that, the appetizers are smaller. They're not the same quality as they used to be before. And for some reason now, a burger doesn't come with fries. Like, if you wanna get fries, you gotta pay extra money for it. Appetizers are supposed to be casual, low stakes, a little treat before the meal, not a major investment. Like, when did it become acceptable for appetizers to cost more than the actual meals? I know we're all gung-ho on no more QR codes, but we need to talk about this too. It just doesn't sit right with me.
I just want to know when as a society we got to this point. Me and my husband went to Chili's last night. Chili's for dinner, right? He got a burger, I got the triple dipper, and we got 2 beers and chips and queso. Tell me why I spent $70 or $80 on dinner last night. For a burger, the triple dipper, 2 beers, and chips and queso. Well, you can't even go to dinner anymore at Chili's and have the mentality of that you're gonna drop around $100. freaking blows my mind. Anyways, maybe I'm the only person who, I don't know, cares about it. But that blew my mind. It was insane. I looked at him and I was like, we're at Chili's. Like, I don't care to spend money on a dinner. I like going to dinner for the atmosphere, for the experience. I like going out to eat. I love going out to eat. But like, Chili's for a burger and an appetizer and 2 beers and some chips and queso. Anyways, that's all. Bye.
How can we afford to go out and eat at this rate? I went to Joey's last weekend and I had dinner with my friend. I haven't seen her in a while and I don't go out to dinner that often. I ordered this tuna burger, which sounded divine. I was so excited to try it. I substituted a garden salad instead of fries because I wanted something a little bit lighter. Got the burger. It's a big burger. It was delicious. The salad was honestly so mid. I could have done without the salad, but I got my bill and I could not believe how much I had dropped for a burger and a salad. I spent $41 with tip on my burger with a salad. And I did not order a drink. I told my roommate and she's like, did you order a drink? I said no. I got a tuna burger and a salad. And it's because the tuna burger was $29. And then to substitute a garden salad was $4 extra. And then I tipped her 20%, I think, because she was so nice and I really liked her and she was very genuine and down to earth. I think you should tip your servers. But at this rate, I'm not going to be able to afford to tip or be able to afford to go out to eat if I'm spending $40 for a simple burger and a salad. Like, that's actually insane, and it's not even a fine dining restaurant.
So recently I made a video about how insane it is that appetizer prices have gone through the roof and they basically cost you the same as a meal. Because it's insane. Like, literally you're paying $16, $17, $18, even like $12, $13, $14 is a lot for an appetizer compared to what it used to be. And most of the people agree with me in the comments. Those people are like, it's insane. Sometimes I don't get appetizers. Sometimes I'll just get the appetizer as the meal because I'm basically paying the same price, or we only get water. Like, a lot of people were agreeing with me. There was a couple people here and there who were like, prices haven't really changed, or they've always been this way. They've always been so expensive. So I did some digging. Let me show you what I found. What I'm about to show you is the Outback Steakhouse menu that I found on eBay from 2010. Now, before I show you this, I get it. Inflation's normal. I get that normal inflation prices go up. I get that. But it's been a little insane for appetizers. So it's a little hard to see, but if you look over here, we got the appetizers to share. You can see the grilled shrimp on the Barbie, $7.95. A bloomin' onion, $5.95 for a bloomin' onion. $5.95. Then you also can see the quesadillas, $4.95 for a small one, $7.95 for a regular one. And here's the big one. The Kookaburra wings, $7.95 for some wings. You're not finding that anywhere today. Not to mention the same price for the Gold Coast coconut shrimp. So keep that in mind. Now here are some prices of the current day Outback Steakhouse. Down Under Trio, $12.99. The fried mozzarella boomerangs actually do look pretty good. It looks like you get a decent amount for $10. But the bloomin' onion, $10.99 for the bloomin' onion now. Look at the bloomin' fried shrimp, $14.99 for some shrimp now. You're paying $11 for a bloomin' onion and $14.99 for some fried shrimp. Grilled shrimp on the Barbie, $14.99. The Kookaburra wings, remember those $8 Kookaburra wings? $15.49 now. Are you kidding me? Is that not enough for you? Let's look at Chili's. This is an old menu I found on Reddit. I believe he said it's from 2014. Look, the Triple Dipper. The Triple Dipper right here. $11.49. Southwest egg rolls, $8.49. Boneless wings, $8.99. Still a great price for wings. Normal wings, again, $8.99. Potato skins, which I don't have anymore. RIP potato skins. I love potato skins. $7.49 or $29, excuse me. And then look at the dips. Look, tostada chips, $3.49 with some chips and salsa. Very reasonable. I'll pay $3.49 for chips and salsa. That makes sense. Even the queso and the guac, $5.99. A little bit more, but hey, I'll pay $6 for some good queso and some good guac. It makes sense. You're sharing it. Now let's look at the modern day Chili's appetizer prices. And we're going to start with the big one. The Triple Dipper. Remember that $11.49 Triple Dipper? You're now paying $18 for a Triple Dipper. Those $8.99 boneless wings, forget about it. $17.99 for bone-in wings, $14.99 for boneless wings. Forget about the wing prices. I'm not paying $18 for some wings. Look at the egg rolls, $14.79. Look at the dips, $13 for chips and dips. What are we doing? Kind of hard to see with the mozzarella sticks. Yeah, $16. So ain't nobody getting that these days. In 11 years, which I get is a decent amount of time, but still a wild jump to go from $11.49 to $18 for a Triple Dipper. And you'll wonder why people aren't getting meals. Look, I get inflation's normal. I get that prices are going to naturally go up over time. I get that. But the price of appetizers has definitely gone up a lot more than the price of everything else, except maybe like housing. It's just crazy to think that like growing up, we were paying, $5, $6, $7, and if you want to get some chips and dip, like $3. But now you're paying $14, $15, $16 to get some wings and some chips and dip. I don't know if it'll ever go back down again, but it's getting kind of ridiculous out here.
Restaurants changed after COVID in a way that customers can't even see. Before COVID, if somebody quit, you could replace them. Now, good luck. A lot of career restaurant people left the industry completely. Chefs, servers, managers, line cooks. Some retired, some changed careers, some just got tired of getting beat up every day. And the people who stayed, most of them are doing the work of 3 people now. That's why restaurants close earlier. That's why service feels different sometimes. That's why you see owners working the floor, cooking food, bussing tables, running cash registers. We're all trying to hold it together. COVID didn't just hurt restaurants financially. It changed the workplace permanently. And I honestly don't think the industry's ever going to go back to the way it was before.
Why does it feel like every restaurant is both more expensive and shittier? Like those two things are happening at the same time in the same direction simultaneously. The kids' meals cost as much as the grown-up meals used to cost, and I can't even settle for shitty fast food because Subway used to be the cheap, healthy option on every corner for $5, but it got bought by an investment group, and they switched to pre-sliced meat to cut costs, and now it's $15. So now I'm dropping the same amount of money as a sit-down restaurant and leaving hungry and sad for what used to be $20. Who approved this?
Do you remember when eating fast food was like cheap? Well, as a family of 5, there's honestly nothing cheap anymore. But Portillo's, if you guys know Portillo's, it's like cheeseburgers, chicken sandwiches, chicken tenders, Italian beef, hot dogs. So fast food style food. It's not like a nice sit-down restaurant. For a family of 5, for each of us to get a meal, $100. So $100 to go eat fast food. Is that not insane? What restaurants did you guys used to love that, was affordable, but now it's definitely not affordable? Like, I can't finish a lacrosse game and just be like, oh, let's go to Portillo's for dinner because I don't want to spend $100 on a random weeknight on food.
You spend $10 a tomato. I do a lot of work in restaurants, and I'm just leaving a client now, and the chef was telling me that tomatoes are the most expensive that they've ever been. And he was saying that a case of tomatoes, the beefsteak tomatoes, which are 5 inches by 6 inches, come 10 to 12 in a case. They're $100 per case. So $8 to $12, depending on how many tomatoes are in there, per tomato. $8 to $12 per tomato. I remember when I first started farming, I went to the store and bought a tomato and it was like $3. I'm like, $3 for a tomato, like that's crazy. $10 is insane. I mean, that alone, like a single tomato plant could give you 12 tomatoes easily. So, save yourself $100, $200 a year, depending on you have 1 or 2 tomato plants. Like if that alone is a reason to start growing your own food, it's crazy.
Am I the only one who thinks going to a sit-down restaurant isn't even worth it anymore? For 2 people with tip and tax, you're spending a bare minimum of $50. If you get appetizers and drinks, that could easily be $80 to $100. Now, we go out for food like once or twice a week, and unless it's a celebration or we're going out with friends or family, we're just getting takeout. It's Chipotle, it's bibimbap, it's kava, right? That's it. It just makes no sense to spend $50 on a mid-tier sit-down meal when we can spend $17 and eat at home.
You want to know who feels a recession first? Restaurants. Not Wall Street, not the news, restaurants. Because the second people get nervous about money, they stop going out to eat. First it's appetizers, then desserts, then alcohol. Then suddenly people are sharing meals. And you can literally watch it happen in real time. A packed Friday night turns into, hey, why is it so slow tonight? Then it becomes, why has it been slow for 3 weeks? People think restaurants are just food. No, restaurants are like the heartbeat of the economy. When people feel good, restaurants are full. When people are stressed, restaurants feel it immediately. And the scary part, most restaurant owners are trying to smile through it while quietly wondering how they're going to pay everybody next week. You know, restaurant people know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes, but I feel like this is happening with grocery store food too. Meats taste different, they have a different texture. Fruits don't taste as fruity anymore. I don't know how to explain that. A lot of stuff just is strange. And that's just in the grocery store. In restaurants, I feel like things don't taste the same because they're cutting costs. Bottom line, they're buying cheaper ingredients, they're making your food cheaper, but they're charging you more for it. People will say this effect in taste is going to be because a lot of people suffered from COVID, XYZ. But I only had COVID once. I had it in the very, very beginning of the pandemic. And when my taste came back, everything tasted good. Everything tasted like it used to. I don't feel like this really started happening until like 2021, mid 2021, when I think all of these companies realized that the rush for goods during the pandemic was gone and they needed to recoup the costs somehow. Do I think all of these restaurants and grocery stores and everything have recouped all of their costs at this point? Yes, but they're never going back. Everything tastes like shit now because it's made with shit ingredients. Everything in the grocery store has fillers. I firmly believe that the food that we eat in the United States is just straight poison.
Working in a restaurant literally changes your brain chemistry when it comes to food prices, because what do you mean this wrap? It's like $18. I'm pretty sure it's $18, and I'm getting it for free after my shift, as I do my Caesar wrap, saving the other half for my grandma. That's crazy. I got this for free. Also, can we look into the science behind food tasting so much better when it's free? They were like, oh, do you want this for free? Yeah, and that was the best wrap I've ever had in my life. If they said pay for it, I don't know how good it would be.
Amongst all the people who are hurting in this current economy that we are all experiencing are unsung heroes. The restaurants, the cafes, the sandwich shops. I think we take them all for granted, right? We all need to eat. We all go there and spend money. We bellyache sometimes about spending that money. But do you realize how difficult it is today to run a restaurant or a cafe or any kind of food establishment? In this economy, think about your expense when you're filling up one tank of gas. Think of their expense. They're buying food and liquor and beverages from all kinds of sources, and they're getting hit with surcharges, fuel surcharges. But here's the worst part. Someone I know owns a restaurant, and he told me he immediately, a couple of months ago, really started to notice. The first thing that happened, people stopped buying dessert. Yeah. And then they stopped buying appetizers. And then they stopped buying drinks and just getting stuff to go. So they didn't have to really tip that much either. Picture yourself on the receiving end. You own that restaurant. You are getting slammed. You are getting beat up. And yet people are counting on you to stay open so they can eat. I'm asking everybody out there to please consider the restaurant owners, the cafe owners, the sandwich shop owners, and think of what a hard time they're experiencing today in this economy. And think of how many you've witnessed closing their doors. My hat's off to all those people who serve us.
Okay, I just had to pull over to make this video because this has been weighing on my mind for probably like 4 years straight. And every time I think about making this video, I like chicken out because I'm like, okay, no, somebody else is probably gonna say it. But I haven't seen anyone else make a video on this. So that's how I know that this is my video to make. And if I just change one person's opinion, that's like literally all that matters to me. Because I changed my mom's opinion, I changed a couple other people's opinions on this, and I feel better. And this just like perpetually aggravates me because I've worked in the service industry for over 10 years, okay? And I deal with this shit, and I also hear about this shit. And I also hear about people's opinions on this shit. And so I'm here to just kind of explain because I've never seen anyone else explain this. And I just get so frustrated with people complaining, why do I have to tip when you're just handing me a coffee? Why do I have to tip when I'm just at my dispensary and you're just handing me my online order? Or whatever, okay? The reason I just pulled over is because that just happened to me. I was at my dispensary and I was giving her the tip and she was like explaining that like At the end of the night, no one tips. In the morning, when there's nothing in the tip jar, no one tips. And a lot of the time, people don't tip. And I just want to explain this because I don't think people know this. It's not common knowledge, and that's fine. I understand it's not common knowledge. So I'm here to make it a little bit more common, okay? When there's an option to tip, it means that the people who are working are making less on their salary because there's the option to tip. I understand it seems like maybe they're just handing you your coffee at Starbucks, or maybe they're just handing you your sandwich. Maybe they're just making you your sandwich at Jersey Mike's. Why should I tip? It's their job. Yes, it is their job. However, I have worked at Jersey Mike's. I've worked at Subway. I've worked at pretty much anywhere that you can tip, and also like serving in restaurants. So I understand the whole spectrum of like the tipping, like whatever. So what I'm here to say is that not only are the people at Starbucks or Jersey Mike's or wherever just making your food or making your drink, they're doing a million other things in the background. They're doing a million things. Trust me when I say we never have a second to slow down. When we're busy, we're making all the drinks or making all the subs. When we're not busy, we're restocking, we're reslicing, whatever, we're cleaning, we're doing dishes. Like, there's so many things that go into your sandwich or your drink or what have you, your fucking kava bowl. I don't know. There's so many things that go into that like giving a couple extra dollars, like you have to think about the bigger picture, not just like what's in front of you of, oh, they're just handing me my coffee. Oh, this person just rang me out. Why would I tip them? The tip is going to everyone. Normally in places like that, it's a tip pool. It's not just like, oh, this person rang up my drink, so I'm tipping them, and then another person's making my drink. It's going to everyone. So I'm just saying this with like the utmost love and the utmost like grace for everyone. Like, please just think about it a little bit more when you're like presented the option to tip. We're doing a million other things. Like, we're doing a service like plus more. So I don't know. I just get frustrated when people are like, why do I have to tip? They're just handing me a drink, or they're just like putting my fucking meat on a sub. Yes, and they're doing a million other things. So think about the bigger picture, please. And please, please, please tip.
What we're seeing isn't just normal inflation, it's a systemic unraveling of what used to be affordable American comforts. When corporate chains like Outback or Chili's are charging $18 for appetizers, and the basic family dinner pushes past $100, something has fundamentally broken. Restaurants have always been the true heartbeat of our economy. They feel a recession long before Wall Street admits it. Right now, people are quietly pulling back, cutting out extras, and sticking to takeout because the math just doesn't add up anymore. It's a lose-lose cycle where regular families get priced out, small food establishments get crushed by surcharges, and the frontline workers are left holding the bag. We aren't just paying more for food, we're paying more for a lower quality of life, and that's the real cost being passed down to everyday Americans. Have you found yourself pulling back from sit-down restaurants lately, or are you noticing smaller portions and weird new fees in your local area? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one, take care.